Okay, at this time, we're going to turn it over to Jim from RINK Management Corporation. He's going to present his program and try to help us at our municipal rink. Jim, would you like to take the floor?
Good evening, everybody. I had a short presentation. I had a printout for everybody. I'll introduce myself. I am Jim Littlejohn. I'm with RINK Management Services Corporation. We are headquartered, our corporate office is just outside of Richmond, Virginia. We are the largest operator of ice skating facilities in the country. I'm actually a native of Messina, New York. For the better part of 40 plus years, lived in Messina and relocated to the corporate office of our company approximately 5 years ago. And my title, I'm head of marketing, director of marketing of the company, and also assist in all transitions regarding RINK Management Services, any new properties. I basically had a printout. I thought it'd be easier is just try to give you a basic introduction of RINK Management Services, some of the basic items or services that we do. We are a management company, third-party management company, and basically oversee operations, day-to-day operations of a facility. Not only are we into the ice rinks, that's our primary business is ice rink management, but we also do a number of properties that are turf fields, indoor water park next to the Detroit airport, basketball courts, lacrosse fields, and so on. But the primary focus of our company is ice rinks. If you'll flip over on the first page, just an introduction. We are the largest. It's a small niche. There's about 2,000 ice rinks, maybe half of them municipal ice rinks, the other half privately owned. We operate approximately 30 rinks. We're a systems-based company. Everything in our company is absolutely systems-based orientation, right to the accounting, human resources, the marketing and sales, right on down. We handle $32 million for our clients and currently handle about $135 million in assets. Again, on our depth, I talked a little bit about that in here. Whenever we come on a property or day-to-day operations, we're basically trying to maximize efficiency and grow. Most ice rinks you see in municipal settings, they're a nice amenity. They're meant for the community, meant for everybody, and try to provide programming that gives everybody an opportunity to enjoy that. As far as our depth, I talked certified ice technicians. We have 19 certified ice technicians in our company. I've had an opportunity to see the ice at the municipal, and David does say it's very nice. It does a great job. I think the ice looks very nice at the ice rink, to tell you that much. We teach about a third of the courses at the National Trade Show at NARS. It's part of the STAR program in Colorado. One thing that I think in the last paragraph on that page is one thing when people think about third-party management or somebody coming in, they just think, oh my God, this isn't good. But I want everybody to know that, basically tell the board, you're always in control. It's your asset. You're in total control, and anything that we may suggest, strategic decisions would have approval from the town of Alexandria. This next page is just who we are. That's our core people. We do have 1,600 employees at RINK Management all across the country. We have a national footprint. Tom is the president, of course. Jennifer, controller. I handle marketing and transitions. Glenn is vice president and regional manager. He's in New York, actually, Montgomery, New York. And a couple of our regional managers, Don Baldwin and Carl Sasson. On the next page, just quickly, services we provide. 13 years we've been doing it. The accounting, that's something we're very proud of in RINK Management. I think it's something our clients highly appreciate. The financial reporting, budgeting, payroll, cash handling. We produce GAAP standard financials with 100% auditability. Sorry about that. So complete transparency, and I think we have a charter of accounts. When we go into a rink, we're setting everything up so it's line by line. We have a system for making deposits. We work through an assistant controller, an accountant, and every single penny's accounted for, so you know exactly where the money's coming from. Operations, simply when we're managing a rink, we're basically looking for what's optimizing the best ice scheduling for maximum efficiency. Preventive maintenance program, and of course human resource is something that's you know, a key part of our program, because part of the our process of bringing in employees, we tend to, most times when we come on a property, you know, we certainly will look at employees that currently work at the facility. And as long as they work in our system and understand our approach, we're aggressive in sales and making that facility available to the whole community, you know, we can make that work. Under human resource, we do everything. If we bring somebody on board, it comes everything from background checks, they fill out every form that's imaginable in our human resources. We're pretty tight on that. Marketing, that's one of the things I think that sets our company apart from maybe, because that's what we do. We have the ability, we have 30 rinks, we're able to, we have that luxury of looking at so many different properties, West Coast, South, Northeast, and what works. And we're very driven when it comes to social media, email, text messaging, you know, websites, paid online search, and we'll get into that a little bit more as I go on. Next page is just some of the municipal properties that we run. I'm not going to read them all for you, but there's just some of them right there. You know, Reisterstown's in there. That's in Northwest Baltimore, Capitol Clubhouse in Maryland, York, Pennsylvania, the Bank of America Skating Center, Rhode Island, and so on. So we're quite familiar with the municipal environment. We've done it. We understand it. We understand the needs of, you know, trying as what the challenges you face in a municipal environment. You know, basically being held accountable to taxpayers and, you know, getting the best bang for your buck. And it's what we do well, and we understand it. We work closely with municipal governments. The next page, email marketing plan. This is a quick overview. We believe we're pretty maniacal when it comes to marketing and getting our customers and getting names, addresses, email addresses, so that those are our customers. So we have name capturing cards, and we want to be able to have constant contact with those customers, basically telling them about our programs and special events we do. We do a twice a month email blast for our facilities through Constant Contact. And our open rate's pretty, probably double the normal rate that's reported by Constant Contact in most email services. Feedback, you know, surveys to track our success. Facebook, next page you'll see we're pretty big believers in Facebook marketing. Any property we go on, you know, unless the client, again, you always have the last call, we would highly encourage Facebook pages. There's 1 billion users on Facebook. You know, 1 in 7 people on the planet have a Facebook page. If you're not using it, you probably should be, because there's no other better form to contact or, you know, connect with people than Facebook. We post engaging content regularly. We offer contests. We work with a company in North Carolina to enter to win contests, and it could be as simple as engaging with local businesses. Maybe it's direct subs. I just came from direct subs, and maybe we give away a couple $25 gift certificates. And we have contests on Facebook, so that we're capturing their content, their information at the same time, but again, engaging them and just trying to brand the facility. And what we find is, when I talk about branding the facility, is that most municipal facilities that I see, ice arenas, they basically have they're branded as mostly just hockey and figure skating, but there's much more than hockey and figure skating is your core, and they're very, very important, and you got to have healthy hockey and figure skating programs. That's make it successful. But it's all the other little parts, the public skating, birthday parties, corporate outings, and so on. It's getting revenue from all those avenues and growing programs that makes them successful. Next is a Google marketing plan. We're pretty high on what we call Google AdWords. I'm sure if some of the board or members, if you're searching on the internet, Google's used approximately 75% of all searches are done through Google. So we do what we call Google AdWords. There's some examples there. So again, we'll try to you know, set up keywords and try to work with the local hockey association, youth groups, figure skating, the Learn to Skate programs, and kind of enhance their programs through Google AdWords and you know, search engine optimization it's a fancy word for trying to get to the top of the pages on the first page. When somebody searches ice skating, you want the municipal arena here at Alexandria to come to the top. So we're pretty good at that, and again, Google at a very reasonable price, and you'll kind of see some of that in the next page, is the best bang for the buck. Now don't get me wrong, we still print ad is still important. Radio, TV, they're expensive. A lot of facilities, some of them, some of our mall-based locations, we may use them, can afford that, but primarily digital social media has been the way to go, and it's pretty much the most cost-effective in our opinion. Here's just a sample on that page of the paid search, Google Ads. That's just a sample from one of our facilities. So the total cost for $107, we're getting 3,200 impressions. We have what we call a click-through rate, and some people may say 6.1%, well, that doesn't sound like a very good click-through rate to your website, but it actually is, because on Google, they report about a 2% click-through rate on their hits when you search. So 6%, what we're averaging is almost 3 times that. I'm a big believer it's in impressions is what works. And if you look at Facebook underneath that, for $209, we had 718,000 impressions of this particular ice arena. When I say impressions, it's all about getting that in your case, the municipal arena out there to the public, and putting it in the forefront as a thought like, hey, let's go do that today, whether it's public skating or this or that. I kind of make the analogy to a NASCAR race. If I live in the Richmond area and we have 2 races each year. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan, but when I go there, if you're seeing the cars go around the track and you see Kellogg's on the side of the car, doesn't mean I just get up from my seat and go buy Kellogg's cereal when I leave the racetrack. But it's the impressions, and we keep hitting people every month with our paid search advertising. The next page, another sample marketing. It's text message marketing plan. We're pretty big on that. It's a mobile fan club. The bulk of many of our facilities are strong in areas such as the public skating. And whether it's hockey, whether it's a pickup hockey or a figure skating or a freestyle session or public session, we try to get them in our mobile fan club. And basically they sign up with their cell phone number, we have them in our database, and a lot of, almost everybody has a cell phone, and certainly a lot of the teenagers and a lot of our public skating, rock and skate programs, and I'll kind of go into that in just a few minutes. It has a 96% open rate. Everybody gets text messages, everybody's opening them up. We find it highly effective to connect with our customers. Next page, living social and Groupon. That all is a market. That's certainly, it depends on the market you're in. I'm sure there may be a living social or probably in the Syracuse market, and that's something we find highly effective. Promoting whether it's birthday parties or learn to skate or public sessions. We do use those as ways to promote our products. Print marketing. We create a lot of pieces when you come in one of our facilities. Basically, they're pretty visual, entertaining. Again, what makes ice rinks healthy is more than just your standard of just renting ice. Because I'll be honest with you, I've done this a long time and been to a lot of municipal arenas, and it's just not going to cut it if you just rent ice. There's just not enough hours in the day. You could rent it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're still never going to break even. So that being said, though, you want a strong hockey program, and you want to work with the local associations, you want to work with the local figure skating, because those programs, your public skaters go into those programs. So that's one of the big programs that we like to promote is public skating in a community. So those help, again, that leads to growing the programs, hockey and figure skating. These are just a couple samples of our print marketing that we do. A cartoon skate we do on typically Saturday mornings after a learn to skate. Costume characters, they dress up. Our skate hosts, skate guards dress up, and attracts a lot of families. My wife and I managed the St. Lawrence Mall Arena for a great number of years in Messina before we moved. To this day, we still do a Friday night rock and skate where we have a live DJ and games and prizes, but we average 250 to 300 people on a Friday night, still going after all these years. We're big believers that to make an ice rink successful is the entertainment value. I'll be honest with you, I mean, you're only going to skate around an oval so much before you're bored and ready to go home, but if you add the entertainment value to it, they'll keep coming back and engaging them. Let's see. Okay. On the next page, it's kind of like a basic proposed plan. In our position as a management company, we basically, and I'm heavily involved in transitions, obviously, in the marketing, but we conduct public meetings. You know, we meet with all the user groups. We have about 100 youth hockey organizations that we work with. Many figure skating organizations. Those are your two big ones, of course. And we conduct public meetings, so we like to get their feedback and their input and what they would like, and what, you know, how do we make them more successful? Because it's all about creating more skaters. That's what we want. As a company, that's exactly our goal, is how do we make it as efficient as possible for the municipality and still grow the programs, and it's a win-win situation. We just want to create more skaters. Two is review. What we do is review the ice schedule to optimize ice time slots. That's basically, as just like it says, we kind of go in there and make sure it has the, scheduling makes sense and it works for all parties. It just can maximize revenue. Grow participation in ice-related programs. Public skating admissions is at the top. I'm from the North Country. I grew up in Messina minor hockey, and I understand. Public admissions generally isn't a large portion. It's generally been just renting ice. Whether it's to the two major user groups, and high school teams, and so on. But to make it healthy, is you're going to have to bring in more people and get them into the sport of ice skating, and public admissions is one of them. Learn to Skate's in there, youth hockey. Payroll efficiency. We have again, we're systems based. Everything we do, we have a plan of 20, and we'll see that in the next page, of how we manage our payroll based on a percentage of the overall gross revenues. Setting up a preventive maintenance program. I mean, it's your asset, you want to protect it, and it's very important that we have something in place that will be able to keep that asset well maintained, for many, many years to come. Next page, I just wanted to hit what I was saying about payroll efficiency. These are examples of, I guess, let's see, I had 8 rinks here. These are actual rinks, and obviously I'm not gonna, I wouldn't be showing actual names, or, it's kind of like a confidentiality of our other ice clients, their rinks, but these are examples of our gross revenues, from the high end to the low end, and that's our payroll. And payroll being all in for these facilities, meaning, the Social Security taxes and so on, all the taxes and, your basic wages on top of that. And those are some of the, we try to keep it between 28 and 35% of the gross revenues. And this is, again, it's just a matter of, that's our system, and we try to maximize, and we've done pretty well at it for our clients, keeping that in that range. Now, will there be certain, sometimes special circumstances that may deviate from that? That's sure, that can happen, but not too much. And then at the very end, just to thank you, I appreciate the opportunity just to make the presentation. Tell you a little bit about our company, RINK Management. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I had the opportunity to come see my family in Messina too on the trip. So I appreciate the opportunity to let me give this presentation tonight.
Thanks, Jim.
So, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Is there any questions from the audience tonight?
Yes, sir. Very good presentation.
Thanks, sir.
But I go back, just like with the fire department or the schools, what's good for New York City or Washington doesn't work up here. I've worked there for, I've been at it for making ice 43 years.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good man over there. Don't know what happened. He was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule it. I don't know where he gonna come up with more ice time. We got it rented out. We tried public skating, they don't show up. Learn to skate, we had 4 kids for learn to skate, 4 for squirts. When I coached the kids back in '70, from age 4 to 8, we had 60 kids on the ice. Kids are lazy today. Very good company, good presentation. The one thing you said is, rinks aren't there to make money. That wasn't built to make money. And we're a low income area. Right now, there's no ice. They're knocking the door down, asking Dave for ice. And like I said, we try to do the best, and we've had good ice since that building was built. And another thing, there was a diagram architecture firm come in and was gonna make some modifications in '06. When I worked there in '73, we presented the same thing to the village board. When the village had it, and it fell on deaf ears about expansion and things. But it's a 50-year-old building. We've tried, just for your information, when I worked there, we tried car shows, gym shows, rocking, different rock bands in there, different things, and you're in the tourist with the river and the islands, and they're promoting that. So everything's failed. Not being negative, but nothing seems to work in a 50-year-old Butler building. I mean, it looks nice, but what's good for Richmond? What do you get for an hour for ice time? Or Washington, any big
well, we're
city?
all over. Like I said, we're at national
What's
footprint. Average, probably 275.
That's what I thought. We get 65.
Sure.
We can't make, if we charge that, we wouldn't have anybody.
Oh, no, I'm not advocating.
You know, I'm not negative. I'm just comparing, you know, the economy with this area from what you're used to. And I agree with you 100%. Okay, you're a good company, but it's just too big, I think, for this municipality to handle at this time.
Well, I'll answer, kind of respond a little bit, because we talked a bit more on the revenue side than just the expense side too. So our company just is not looking at just the revenue, but kind of making it efficient and expenses. I think we may be based in Richmond, but I was 40 years in Messina.
Right.
And without giving away my numbers, my wife and I started that in 1997 when that mall was built in Messina. And I can tell you the numbers that we have are were astronomical compared to the municipal arena 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
Now, we brought in, I will tell you, we had the advantage of having rental skates. I know we don't have rental skates here. So public admission is, it's got to be a major part. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But every arena around our arena in Messina didn't have them and had very low admissions. And I probably had 30 times the amount of public admission. But it can be done. Our company's proven it. We got a proven track record. And I'm not saying miracle workers. I'm not saying, every program fits every need. But come on a Friday night rock and skate and you'll see 250 kids. I've done it. I started it and made it happen. It's all about branding. It takes time. It takes traction, but to get people to the ice. And it's something that you got to keep working at and branding a facility to create new skaters. But I totally agree. There are some, it doesn't work, and you would never get that. You'd never get that hourly rate. Absolutely, totally. We're like 90, I think, at the mall in Messina. Even in 1997, when we built that, we started out at $92, and everybody thought this is the end of the world. I mean, it was 50, as you said. I think some of them now are still $55, $60. But I will tell you, my concept of ice time is that I was in hockey, my daughter was a figure skater, my wife taught for 25 years. Very expensive. A lot of these tournaments you go to, there's spent a lot of money on hotels, and no question about it. But really, when you take the ice time in itself, some more times than not, they're looking at the quality of the ice time, prime time and so on. And people will travel. I did a heavy push when my wife and I ran Messina to go into Canada. And actually, the bulk of our revenues for quite some time were from Canada, because I knew the push it was too cheap. I knew people, and we had the advantage of the mall too for people coming over to shop at the stores. But there's certain areas that you certainly can enhance in almost any facility to help grow participation. But
he's got the schedule. It's going right from school gets out, 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night.
Sure.
And I can see in the cities where they have, I talk to people all around, and they have industrial leagues that come in, adult leagues that play hockey that skate second shift. Yep. They come in 1 o'clock in the morning and have it. We don't have that, luxury of having that income up here.
Yeah.
No, you're a very good company. I'm not being negative.
No, I know.
I'm just giving you some realistic stats up front.
Sure.
And
No,
we don't have enough ice time.
Yeah.
If you can get more hours out of the day, that would be fine.
I believe that gentleman right there has a question.
Sir, go ahead.
I was reading your stuff on your website, and some things struck me that you didn't maybe touch on all the way. And it seemed like that you spent a lot of effort trying to help them develop things, get maybe grants or stuff, get money to the facility. It seems like you reach out to stakeholders. You said that a number of times in your conversation. And that's one of the things that I've seen that we fall down on. And you seem like you want to reach out to the men's hockey league here and minor hockey and the varsity hockey team and the figure skating group. And you want to get their input on how they want to see their arena run. And I think for a long time here, it's kind of been, you know, do it our way, or you may pay for it on ice time, and that's not correct. And I would like to see the board, whether they choose this management company or another one, or continue to gather stakeholders in this community, because these people in this community are very community minded, and they spend a lot of time and a lot of their own money making that arena go. And I always have a feeling that you get kind of concentrated, only listening to the employees that you're paying and the management group that you're paying the stipend to. And I think your bumper cars is a good example, because that, when you get an idea and you vet it in the community like you're talking about, you get buy-in from the community. And the way we run things, we don't always vet it in the community correctly, and we don't always get that buy-in. And I applaud you for looking at something like this to fix the long-term problems we have had over there.
Question, Jim. The payroll figures you have here and the percentages, I noticed for some of the smaller rinks, did you say these are actual payroll figures?
Those are actual payroll figures, right? Those are actual revenues too.
Actual revenue figures?
Correct.
Because there's obviously some rinks that are getting down closer to our size here.
That's
and you're
correct.
still running 28 to 35% of gross. I mean, even 29% of gross.
That's correct.
So those are actual figures.
Those are actual figures right from our, yeah, and one thing I didn't touch on, and I probably should have, is a little bit, I guess, in the accounting, is our full GAAP standard accrual. Every month on the 15th, we've never missed. I don't care if there's a hurricane comes through the Atlantic. Our clients have always had their financials on the 15th of every month, and we have a charter of accounts. I mean, everything's there. I mean, public skating, child, adult, birthday parties, broom ball, right on down. And you get full general ledger and everything, so you see everything, including the payroll expenses and so on.
Have you dealt with rinks that have the situation that Tom was talking about, that just have hockey rental from the time school's out to the evenings?
Definitely.
And you have to try to develop, I mean, because we have nothing that goes on in our rink between 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, except for a weekend.
In fairness, that's typical though. I'll be honest with you. I mean, that's a, you know, we'd be Houdini if we could figure out how to get people, if they're in school, every rink has that. So you're not alone, that's for sure. So you try to get in, and again, certain markets you might have homeschool, and you know, you might, specific programs that might work during the day, but it certainly is a difficult time. And like this gentleman said, you know, you could rent hours, and I'm sure, you know, David has it booked out, and that is typical. We see that in a lot of municipal arenas. But the fact is, I mean, just do the math. If you can rent it every, you know, you're not going to have people renting at 3 in the morning, but if you can rent it all day long, you're never going to break even. I came from a municipality last year, and they were losing $1 million a year. And it was just unbelievable. And I said, the only way you're going to be able to change that around is find new streams of revenue and bringing in, whether it's public skating, the parties. We're pretty aggressive. I recently had a company that gave me $10,000, and I had free skating for the community and sponsorship. There's lots of ways to reach out, but it's certainly, that is one of the areas to grow your own programs. And I'll give you an example. I'm not privy to exactly at the ice rink. But like I said, 98% of all municipal arenas just rent the rink, the hourly rate, bill them, and you're done. But it's just not going to get there. I mean, at Learn to Skate, for example, there are a lot of programs that we run the programs ourselves for the town or for that municipality, and it's 3 times the money coming in, because. But there's ways to working with the organization, because a lot of the rinks up here in the North Country, the figure skating club, and we're not coming in there to run roughshod and throw people out, because we work with the organization. We want to, we all win if we create more skaters. But if you're running your own programs, typically the figure skating club at very cheap, or whatever the rate is, $65, they'll run the $65 an hour and run their whole program, you know. Whereas if we ran that program, we're keeping all that money for the municipality. But that's the only way. I mean, so instead of 65, your hourly rate, you may be getting $300 per hour based on having that program. So, and for example, you take and I'll go back to the rock and skate. Again, I was did that for many, many years, and Messina's still going today. And whether it's games or prizes or DJ, you're engaging kids. It's the thing to do on Friday night. Make sure it's well controlled and well managed. But then again, if we had rental skates at the mall, but you're exceeding far than what the hourly rate if you just rented it. But there's absolutely no question in my mind if you choose the path of just straight rentals, it'll never work. Never work.
Have you dealt with arenas with bumper cars?
Very few. I'm familiar with a few that have done it, but it's a tough road to go.
Another program that used to have, and it's not the school, it's an insurance company, Mrs. Langlois used to bring over at lunch kids to skate for free and we had skates donated, and they try them on. That went very well, but now the school can't do it. They can't let them slide downhill or skate.
Yeah, insurance, but I know.
But there's another program that worked real well, and minor hockey does have a learn to skate program, and they only got 4 to 6 kids don't want to do it anymore. And if you go messing with the figure skaters, you'll go visit the Undertaker.
I've heard that. I know, I have heard that before.
That's the only group in Jefferson County I'm scared of is the figure skaters.
My wife for 25 years, so I know. I got to be careful. So. I know.
Todd, did you have a question?
I'm sorry.
Todd Foreman has a question.
Hey, Todd.
I'm president of the Minor Hockey Association here.
Nice to meet you.
We do have a learn to skate program. We follow USA Hockey. We have try skating for free. We advertise it in the papers. We have gotten new participants with that. The biggest problem I see with this is when you talk about that additional revenue with the parties and the rock and skating. I mean, I think before you look at that any further, you really need to look at the ice time. There isn't that ice time, and if there's a slot that opens up, I don't know if you're aware, we had a rink 2 miles down the road closed down. So everybody bailed and went to this rink.
Sure.
And that's part of the problem, is everybody's fighting for ice time. And all the organizations, whether it's the Jaguar select hockey or minor hockey or figure skating or varsity, everybody's kind of had to give a little bit so that we could all kind of fit in there. But it's that tight where, we've cut back our ice time or our practices because there just isn't enough ice time. And then if a slot does open up, somebody, whether it's them, us, the other, they jump on it because it's so limited. So I just don't understand. I don't see and I live at that rink as much as these guys. I just don't see where you're gonna be able to fit a party in or a rock and skate or.
Well, that's, you make a good point. That's something that we hear a lot, and I think I'll go back to this gentleman about the buy-in and working with the organizations. Is if it comes down to this, and it's something. The hard facts are municipality has to weigh the benefit what that amenity was there for. And most people say, hey, this was here for the community to enjoy, to attract people. At the same time, I'm sure the board's looking, I've got to answer the taxpayer, so how do I make it balanced and fair? So I guess what I would say in that particular case is, we find a way. My wife would we lived in Messina, and when she was growing up, would drive to Brockville at 5 in the morning to skate and then go to school. There's a way you find the time. We'd have to, I know there'd be some inconvenience in changing, but the fact of the matter is, if we're going to try to grow programs and create programs, that would be the way we'd have to do is find some common ground and working with the organizations to make time. I mean, I know it's certainly everybody wants the prime time, and one thing I do see in a lot of rinks that I've visited or made presentations like this, and what I really don't like to see is the kind of hockey versus figure skating, you know, and I hate to say it, but it happens, and I don't like to see it because I like to see all groups, you know, and that's why we do, when we come into properties, we sit down with everybody. But to make a healthy rink, it does. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter is, it just can't operate just on just running the ice. And you're right, I mean, this gentleman said, there's only so many hours, and David will tell you the same thing. But all you have to do is the math. It's never gonna change. I mean, it's got to grow in other areas, and there's gonna have to be some sacrifices, you know. But we're all on the same page. I mean, our company's all about working with groups, and I don't care if you have to give ice away, you know, free to get people, an organization like yours, you know, to grow the program. There's plenty of businesses that will sponsor ice, or there's ways to do it, but you know, it can be difficult. But in the end, I mean, yeah, you have to make those tough choices sometime and try to find value and work around the schedule. You know. Anybody else? Questions?
Okay.
Well,
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks very much. I appreciate the opportunity tonight.
Okay,
All right. Thanks very much.
thank you.